Rules, grades 6 through 12.
Welcome. Today we're talking about the CHAMPS Classroom Management Strategies for Rules, grades 6 through 12. You can see by this chart that rules and guidelines share some of the same characteristics, but they are also very different. Guidelines are general positive statements about attitudes, traits, and behaviors, while rules are specific behavior statements that all students are expected to follow.
Good morning, class. We are going to review our classroom rules before we get started in our novel study today. Our first rule:
Rules state
stay on
behaviors
task.
in a positive, observable way and are connected to consequences when they aren't followed. If a rule is broken, it should be obvious to anyone watching. That's why be respectful is a guideline and not a rule, since respect can be shown many different ways. You'll want to create a list of 3 to 5 basic, observable rules and post them prominently in your classroom where they can be seen at all times. Any more than 5 rules can be confusing. Here are some examples of rules for grades 6 through 12. Keep hands, arms, feet, and objects to yourself at all times. Stay on task during work times. Follow directions the first time they are given. Stay in your area unless given permission to get up. Keep all phones off and in your backpack. Stating your rules positively communicates high expectations and social norming. For example, don't go off task is not as effective as stay on task. Watch this example. Instructional correction. The teacher will give instruction about a rule and expected behavior using a technique called gentle verbal reprimand with an instructional component.
Cheyenne, you need to be on task. You need to be reading the selection. You're breaking our rule. Stay on task during work time. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Use instructional corrections in the beginning of the school year when students don't know the rules yet, and after long breaks when they may have forgotten. Once you're sure the students understand your rules, you can move on to correctional consequences.
Cheyenne, you need to be reading the selection. You seem to be having a difficult time following directions. I'm going to have to write your name on the board. Next time, I'm going to have to put a check mark by your name. So remember our rules. Stay on task during work time. Do you understand?
Correctional consequences should be consistent but not severe or time-consuming. Let's watch another example. This time, the student is breaking the rule about having a cell phone in class.
Robert, this is the second time I've caught you with your cell phone. Please put it away. I'm going to have to put a check by your name. If I put another check by your name, you would be required to do a detention after school. You're breaking our rule. Keep phones off and in your backpack. Okay? Thank you.
In order to find the best consequences for your classroom, ask yourself these 3 things. Number 1, which rules are important to you as a teacher? Number 2, which rules are most often violated? And number 3, what level of structure do your students need? For example, in a classroom that needs a high level of structure, your rules may be focused on limiting movement in the classroom, such as stay in your area unless given permission to leave.
Okay, remember, Bedin, our classroom rules. Stay in your assigned area, and if you need assistance, raise your hand and I will come to you. Okay? Thank you. Yes, Bedin, thank you for raising your hand. How can I help you?
In a classroom that requires low structure, students act more maturely and can use the restroom, sharpen their pencils, or get a drink of water quickly and responsibly. And you may not have any rules about classroom movement. Class structure can change throughout the year as your students adjust to your rules, expectations, and classroom management style.
Very good, very good. Any other additions to that?
Classroom consequences can vary from simple verbal reprimands
Word. Ladies, you need to stay on task.
to after-school detentions. Remember that consequences are delivered calmly, immediately, and consistently every time a rule is broken. Most important, you must reinforce the rules by consistently referring to them to encourage positive behavior, as well as referring to them when you provide consequences. If you don't follow or use your own rules, the students will think they aren't important. Remember, the more you refer to, review, and reinforce your classroom rules, the more positive learning environment you'll create for your students.
Very good. High five. Nice job.